Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. The webinar will begin shortly in about 1 minute here, so I'll just give all the attendees a few more moments to join us. So hold tight. All right, everybody. Good afternoon once again. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Jenna, and I work for Emerging Destinations. We represent cool companies and cool places. Just to give you a little bit more feedback, some background, Emerging Destinations are the North American reps for the Guyana Tourism Authority, or the GTA, as you've probably heard us refer to them as, and they handle all of the promotion and product development for the destination of Guyana. I know that we've been hearing from the GTA with a lot of these Guyana webinars, so I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on how Emerging Destinations fits into that. Today, I'm being joined by Anne Hamilton. That's the gorgeous Anne Hamilton there that you can see up on your screen. She's the director of Dagron Tours. So she's joining us today from Georgetown, where she's going to talk to us about the company Dagron Tours and run through a couple of the tour options that they have available in Guyana. So before we do that, wanted to just take a quick minute to introduce our portfolio to you. So Guyana, of course, is in South America, so I will introduce our South American portfolio, although we do have an African and a small ship polar cruises as well. So of course, the Guyana Tourism Authority, we have Terra Nova in Costa Rica, we have Hotel Las Torres, Fantastico Sur, and Cruz Andino, who are in Patagonia, that is Argentina and Chile. And then Jungle Experiences, who are doing the Peruvian Amazon River cruising in Peru, and Grand Hotels Lux, who has hotels in Argentina and Uruguay. So if you have any questions about any of the other clients that I didn't mention or the ones that I did, feel free to reach out to me. My email address is at the bottom of the slide there. So if you want to receive any additional information or previous webinar links, if you want to order brochures, do not hesitate to reach out to me on that. So a couple housekeeping notes to go over before we begin. This webinar will be recorded, so if you do need to step away or answer a call, anything like that, do not worry. We will be sending the recording out to everyone later next week. We'd also like to welcome you to participate throughout the webinar, so if you have any questions, comments, anything that you'd like to send over to either Anne or myself, please feel free to do that using the GoToWebinar control panel on the right-hand side. We will get Anne to answer as many of these questions as possible at the end of the session, but if there are some that we are unable to get to, we will make sure to send those to you in our webinar follow-up next week. On that note, I'm going to hand things over to Anne, who's going to tell us a bit more about the tours and experiences that Dagron Tours has in Guyana. So without further ado.
Good afternoon, Janet. Good afternoon. My name is Anne Hamilton from Dagron Tours. I would like to tell you a bit about myself and my company. Dagron Tours was established in the year 2000, 20 years ago in Georgetown. I realized that tours and travel should be customized to suit individual needs. That is why we focused on personalized tour packages and itineraries in Guyana and the Caribbean. I think what inspired me was my love for travel. Growing up in a small and remote village in the Rupununi, going somewhere was always met with excitement. After moving to the capital, Georgetown, I always knew I wanted to see more of the world, and I took every opportunity. I traveled widely in Guyana, the Caribbean, and other South American destinations, accompanying groups or for leisure at a time when tourism was at a minimal. The knowledge and information I collected was applied to my business. Dagron Tours has grown and evolved into a dynamic company with almost 100 itineraries that we offer. We are confident that we bring expertise from years of experience by serving and hosting tourists from around the world. Even the locals benefit from our tailored packages. There are many attractions in Guyana. The Kaieteur Falls are the highest single drop waterfalls in the world, and Guyana is also known to be the home of the giants of South America, namely the harpy eagle, anaconda, anteater, the arapaima, the jaguar, the black caiman, to name a few. Guyana is also a popular birding destination with over 900 species of birds from 27 families. And I must tell you that Georgetown alone has recorded over 200 species of bird. Highlights include the blood-colored woodpecker and the festive parrots. Bird watchers also visit the Mahaica River to spot the huatsin, Guyana's national bird. The Rupununi in both north and south offer a large number of bird species, including the harpy eagle, sun parakeets, red siskins, and toucans, to name a few. Itineraries for birding vary in duration and habitat. So now we will focus a bit on the tour packages we have to offer. We have created itineraries including Amerindian village tours, horseback riding, canoeing, and wildlife spotting, and stays at many rainforest resorts. I will now share with you two sample itineraries that we offer, a 5-day tour and a 12-day tour respectively. The 5-day tour highlights Sloth Island Nature Resort combined with the iconic Kaieteur waterfalls with numerous activities that are offered at Sloth Island. On day one, upon arrival in Guyana, you will be met at the airport and transferred to your hotel in Georgetown. We must mention that we use a wide range of hotels, including the Herdnesson Lodge, Cara Lodge, Ramada Hotel, the Marriott, and El Dorado Inn, to name a few. The city tour in Georgetown includes the Umanayana, Red House, City Hall, St. George's Cathedral, Stabroek Market, and many more tourist sites in the capital. On the next day, we'll travel to the town of Perico by road and then by boat to Sloth Island, which is located on the Essequibo River. The boat journey takes 1 hour. Sloth Island is a beautiful and comfortable paradise where nature is untouched and the pristine rainforest creates a magical setting for you and your family. This 160 acres exclusive getaway offers privacy like nowhere else. The 8 well-appointed, spacious, and comfortable rooms offer comfort and relaxation. Activities at Sloth Island include wildlife tour, nature walks, and kayaking, to name a few. As you can see, a baby sloth and its mother at Sloth Island. The name Sloth Island is an original name given by the British. It was actually on a map of British Guyana. These are the pale-throated sloth that can be found at Sloth Island. It is great birding done at Sloth Island. You will be awakened by parrots chattering and a wide array of exotic birds singing sweetly nearby. These include toucans, harpy eagle, visit now and again. You have the orpendula, the kiskadis, and the tanagers. All of these can be found, and of course the woodpecker at Sloth Island. We also have monkeys. You can visit. This is on a bird watching tour and wildlife tour. The activities for day 4 would be a visit to Parrot Island, a visit to the Amarin village of Falmouth, and the town of Bartica. Falmouth is an Amerindian village that is 5 minutes from Sloth Island. Sloth Island, the owners, Raphael and Claude, who is the host, they have formed a little birding conservation and wildlife club with the children there. And it's so good to know that they're enthusiastic because Parrot Island is not so far from Sloth Island. Visitors go every afternoon to visit the island once they're on the Parrot Island, once they're at Sloth Island. On day 5, you will be transferred to the airstrip and will be flown to Kaichor Falls. As we mentioned earlier, Kaichor Falls measures 228 meters or 740 feet in length and 100 meters wide. And they're the highest single drop waterfalls in the world. The species seen there are the blue morpho butterflies, the Guyana crocodile rock, the golden frog living in tank bromeliads. This is a TPO, and there is no other place that these are endemic to Kaichor Falls. Sorry. Now I will be sharing with you the 12-day tour featuring 5 different lodges in the Rupununi. I'll be highlighting the various activities available and the experience you can look forward to. I'll also make mention of the various tours and a multi-day tour from 2 to 28 days and the day tours we offer in Guyana. This particular tour, the wildlife tour, has 2 different options. One is the flying option, which leads from Georgetown to Carnambo and then on to Rockview, SURAMA, Eco Lodge, ATTA Lodge, IWOKRAMA, and back to Georgetown. On day 2, you will be transferred to Lethem. It's either by flight, most likely it would be a scheduled flight into Lethem. Lethem is located on the border with Brazil. It's a frontier town and it's about 550 kilometers from Georgetown. It takes an hour by plane or 12 to 14 hours overland. Actually, Lethem was named after Sir Gordon James Lethem, who was the governor of British Guyana from 1941 to April 1947. So the start off point is from Lethem. So we take a 3.5 hours drive to Carnambo. And the activities at Carnambo are varied. There are 2 activities per day. And these activities include searching for otters, tracking the anteaters, visiting the wild Amazonia lilies in the pond nearby, or boating through flooded rainforests. You will enjoy flora and fauna and spot wildlife at night. There are tremendous activities there, and most likely it's going to be an enjoyable trip for anyone who visits Carnambo. The next day, on the 4th day, we're going to visit Rockview Lodge. Rockview Lodge is owned and operated by Colin Edwards, who is an Englishman, by the way, and it offers 8 elegantly designed rooms, a pool, and a panorama trail, which offers opportunity for birding and nature walks. On that tour also, you will visit the village of Anai. On day 5 and 6, this is where you stay at SURAMA Eco Lodge, which is a community-based tourism project owned and operated by its inhabitants who are from the Makushi tribe. SURAMA is there are four benabs. There are four benabs and four rooms that are all en suite. Therefore, it would be good for a group of, say, 8 or 16 persons staying at the lodge. There are different activities such as the river tour to Bora River or spot in the Harpy Eagle and mountain hikes, nature walks, bird watching tours. There are a range of activities. All depends on the selection and the options that visitors would like to have. We then move on day 7 to ATTA Lodge. ATTA Lodge is within the ACCOMMODATION Rainforest Reserve. I should mention at this time that the Rainforest Reserve, the ACCOMMODATION Rainforest Reserve, is a 1 million acre reserve that was gifted to the world by the government of Guyana so that people can research its biodiversity. So basically, ATTA Lodge is at the canopy walkway. There's a canopy walkway there, and there are activities such as canopy walkway hikes, nature walks. So there's a canopy walkway that extends into so many meters, into 35 meters into the trees. And you can also have nature walks, wildlife spotting, bird watching. And ATTA Lodge is basically has 8 rooms, very comfortable, and it's quiet and surrounded by the rainforest. The next day we move on to ACCOMMODATION River Lodge, and that is day 9, where we spend 2 nights, sorry. And this is a lodge that has 8 cabins. 8 cabins and a resort room that can accommodate people. It's basic accommodation in the resort rooms. However, people can be comfortable in those rooms. There are several activities, including uh, the hike to Turtle Mountain. There is Indian House Island tour. You can also visit the Amerindian village of Fairview, visit the waterfall, the petroglyphs, as well as do some bird watching and nature walks there. And I should mention also that caiman spotting is also possible, or transportation to and from in the interior. Of transportation from the Caravan, which is a 13-seater, scheduled flight, sometimes it would be a 13-seater or a 18-seater aircraft, vehicles, boats, and many canoes, motorized canoes in small rivers. And we also offer the ranches in the Rupununi, offer tours to the ranches in the Rupununi, which are Waikin Ranch, Witchy Bay, and Saddle Mountain Ranch. These are found in various parts of the Rupununi. One of them is located about 40 minutes, from Lethem. The day tours that we offer in Guyana include, but not limited to, the Essequibo River Tour, Pomeroon Tour, the Plantation Tour, and Marshall Falls, as well as Skytour and Orandup Falls.
Okay.
Okay, guys, so you can get in touch with us at any time for more information. Our contact information, the address is 91 Middle Street, Georgetown. Email is dagrontours@dagrontours.com or reservations@dagron-tours.com. Or you can give us a call. You can find us anytime, any place. Thank
All right. So thank you everybody for that. Anne, are you with us now?
Yes, I'm here.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that presentation. Just a question here that came through was asking about a bit more about Sloth Island. So the exclusivity that Dagron Tours has in going to Sloth Island. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, so Sloth Island is located in the Essequibo River. It takes 2 hours to get there. We're the only company that sells Sloth Island currently, or Sloth Island themselves. Actually, you can go by road to Perico, and from there by boat to Sloth Island directly, a private boat that is. And when you get to Sloth Island, there's actually surrounded by the rainforest, and there's only about 1 acre that has been cultivated, or there's one house, two buildings. There's a benab, and there's the house for the caretaker. The rest of the island is flooded forest, so therefore, when the water level is high, most of the forest is covered by water. Therefore, um, there is a lot of wildlife that you can see at Sloth Island at any time. Once the water level is low, you can go kayaking around the island to spot wildlife and birds. And there's also a boarded walkway in which people can take walks anytime during the day to spot wildlife and birds. There are lots of sloths on Sloth Island, and that is how Sloth Island has got its name. We also take people to Parrot Island. The excursion is done in the afternoon, say like in the evenings at around 5 o'clock. You go by boat. It takes about 5 minutes to get to Parrot Island. And this is one of the highlights as well, where you get to see over 2,600 parrots come into roost. And actually, the reason why I know it's 2,600 because there was recently someone who came to count parrots. She's involved in counting parrots and birds all over Guyana or all over the world. So that it was the initial stage in really which Sloth Island launched its conservation club with this children that we mentioned earlier. Therefore, the children there now they would be able to conserve because a lot of them have parrot as pets, and she was trying to teach them that they should really be involved in the conservation efforts of the parrots. Otherwise, Parrot Island will have no more parrots in many years to come. So they were very enthusiastic. At Sloth Island, next to Sloth Island, there is an Amerindian village. There are several villages where the Amerindians live as one in nature. Some of them live in, you can visit the village to see them demonstrate the cassava bread making and so on.
So is there a fairly good chance to see sloths? Like during most of those tours, do the clients end up seeing sloths?
There's 99% chance of seeing sloths at Sloth Island.
Oh, perfect. That's wonderful. I know with nature you can't 100% guarantee these sightings,
Right.
so it's always always
Very,
good
very
to know.
few people do not see sloths, but a lot of people do see sloths.
Oh, that's good. That's that picture with the mom and the baby. Every time I see sloths, it just fills my heart. So that's wonderful. Another question here for you, Anne. Is there a limited luggage that you're able to bring on the small planes to Lethem?
Yes, it's about 20 pounds. You're allowed 20 pounds on the plane. You can take extra pounds, but we have to reserve it in advance. So once a customer tells us that they have extra luggage, we will reserve it in advance.
Okay, perfect. And as well, are you able to accommodate different dietary needs throughout the course of the tour?
Yes, we do. Once we know in advance what your dietary restrictions are, we would be able to send those off to the lodges and advise them, and they would meet those requirements.
Perfect. And do you use the local guides from each of the different properties, or do you have a guide that comes on at the beginning with Dagron Tours that's with them throughout the duration of their tour?
Well, every group varies with the request. So most of the times we use the lodges at the resort. However, if a group would like to have a dedicated guide, we usually provide a dedicated guide to them, whether it's a naturalist guide, a birding guide, wildlife, overland tour, depending on which tour they have selected.
Perfect. Another question here? It is the 12-day tour a group tour or is it individual?
It can be either a group or individual, starting from 2 persons up. Now with COVID, I guess we have to keep our groups small.
Okay, so they can book into a group or they can also book a private group with that one.
Correct. Correct.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, if anybody has any other questions, you can type them through. The ones that we did not get to, we will make sure to answer in our webinar follow-up. This webinar, as I mentioned before, will be recorded or is being recorded. So I will make sure to send that out to everybody next week in the webinar follow-up. It'll also be posted to our Emerging Destinations YouTube channel, as well as our Emerging Destinations website. So there's still opportunity to rewatch or listen to different parts that you may have missed. So don't worry about that. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday afternoon. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to tell us a bit more about Dagron Tours and the different experiences that you offer in Guyana. It was
And
wonderful.
Jenna, thank you so much. And thank you everyone for listening. Looking forward to seeing you guys anytime soon.
Thank you so much. Have a good afternoon.
Good afternoon.